All right, let's get this party going. All right, girls, welcome to tonight's team call. I am excited to chat with you a little bit about delegating your time as far as business time, your time, family time, okay? Because it's super, super important to create that sweet spot. Let's just get rid of the word balance because we all know that that does not exist, okay? There is no perfect harmony or balance ever. There are going to be seasons, and maybe you're feeling it right now, that you are pushing your business and you are pushing and spending more time and dedicating yourself and sacrificing maybe a little bit of sleep, TV time, and maybe a little bit of time with family too right now to reach your goals. But there are also going to be seasons that you maybe do the minimums of the business and you're spending more time with family, right? Because we don't create this business and grow this business to just work this business, right? We are creating this, most of us, to have more freedom of time because it's so limited, right? We're all so busy. So I really want to speak on how we can best delegate our time and some focuses that we really need to remember when we're working our Beachbody business. I would love for you girls to put in the chat as I'm talking, like, what are your current work hours? What does your day look like for Beachbody? And how much time are you dedicating to growing your business? Okay. And then I'm going to screen share and go through some slides that I created for you. And if anything comes up, you have a question, or you want me to speak on something a little bit more, just let me know. And then I am more than happy to kind of go into that a little bit more, okay? We're gonna screen share, and if you can, Mindy, can you guys see that okay? Yeah, okay. So delegating your time as a Beachbody coach. This is business, family, and then wasted time is what I'm going to call what we'll get into, okay? So one, setting focused business hours is so, so important. Making sure that you're blocking out time to be with your family and unplugging too, okay? And then we will also discuss time suckers or wasted time, okay? Working, right? Because it's super easy to get sucked into that social media hole and an hour goes by and you've done literally nothing on your to-do list. So first we'll talk about business time. So this is a business, okay? If we want to create an income, and for some of us, it is a very big income and it's retiring us from our full-time job. It's living a life of freedom that we don't yet have. We are going to have to be very intentional with the time that we dedicate to our business. And it is going to have to be very focused. Maybe you're more of a hobby coach and you're just kind of doing a little bit here and there for an extra income. That's awesome too, but you still have to have structure and plan out your week because I am not your manager. Mindy is not your manager. Caitlin is not your manager. We are not here to oversee you because nobody comes up and tells me, hey, Corey, it's time to go to work at 4 a.m. Corey gets herself up and says it's time to go to work. Okay. So that's the reality. You are the CEO of your business. You are your own boss. So you have to create that structure for yourself. And I am not saying it's easy. And I know that for Kate, because she's a stay-at-home mom, that she really has to work to create those focused power packets because the laundry's screaming her name. Eve needs her to do whatever. She's got to make lunch. She's got to clean the house. She's got to go feed the horses. It's not easier because she's stay at home than it is for me or Mindy who is working full time, right? So we have to plan out our week and be intentional with our time because we are all very limited with time. So planning out your week, blocking out your work times. What does your day look like? What are the hours that you're setting for yourself? Are you working in power hours? Kind of like some of us girls do in the morning where we really sit down for an hour to an hour and a half and it is quiet because it's 4 o'clock in the morning and hopefully the children are still sleeping. And you're literally just knocking out the things on your to-do list with very, very focused, intentional time. Or are you working in pockets of time where you're You're getting one thing done off your to-do list in 15 to 20 minutes. And then at lunch break, you're getting 15 to 20 minutes done. After school, you're getting 15 to 20 minutes done. After dinner and after the kids are in bed, you're getting another 15 to 20 minutes in. You're still getting in your time. It's just spaced out. And you guys, don't be afraid to adjust with the seasons of life that you're in. Okay. There have been so many seasons that I would do a power hour and just 1 hour. There have been seasons that I've worked in power pockets throughout the day. And there are seasons like now where I work full time. Like I work for a couple hours in the morning, I work for an hour in the afternoon, and then I work for another hour in the evening. Okay, it's spaced out through my day to give me a break. It allows me to be present with my family. It allows me to help with my family's business. But you have to find what works for you, because what works for me isn't going to work for Mindy. What works for Mindy isn't going to work for Shauna. What works for Shauna isn't going to work for Kylie, right? We all have to find what works for us. So don't be afraid to adjust those sales. But you guys, I have done this business with a 2-year-old baby. I've done it while being pregnant. I've done it with a newborn and a toddler. And I'm doing it now in probably the busiest season of our life, where we are running 2 children, 2 sports, and out of town almost every single weekend for travel hockey. And that's 7 months of my year. That's not a few weeks. Okay. It's one of the longest sports seasons possible. I don't say that to say, oh, look at me. I say that because if you really want it, you can make it work. If you get intentional and you have goals you want to reach, you will make it work. Okay, we have to start looking for the answers that are going to allow us to make this work instead of focusing on the challenges that are going to hold us back. Using a tracker, so important. You guys have the Success Club tracker. You know that I use this, which I fill in. I know that Mindy has her planner. I think you use a Happy Planner. There are broken down trackers in our Team Living Healthy and Fit on Facebook. If you go into the files, there is no lack of resource when it comes to a tracker, so that you know what items you should be focusing on as a to-do list. Okay. And you want to make sure that you're looking at your month and your week and your day. I'll show you. And this week is a little bit quiet because we're going to be in a tournament and are out of town for a tournament for 4 days. But like I write down, I need to do a reel on Monday, and then Becca has practice, and then we have our call at 8, and then we have our call at 8:30. Like, write everything out, because if you try to leave it to your brain, you're going to forget something, and then you're going to be worried about it, and then you're going to stress about it, and then you're going to be frustrated because you're going to inevitably forget something. So make your to-do list and check them off as you go. And it's okay if you add something just to check it off because you got something extra done. There is a correlation to empowering your brain to get things done by physically checking them off of your list. Okay, so make those to-do lists and look at your tracker. And then having non-negotiables and setting realistic expectations. If you're expecting yourself to have success in growth, then we have to set some non-negotiables. We have to have bare minimums that we're doing every single day before we go to bed. And it's not, I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow turns into 2 days, and then 2 days turns into 3. And before you know it, it's been a week or 2 before you've sent a single invite. The inconsistency is what is going to frustrate you. And it's going to deter our followers or our potential clients, because most people are already inconsistent. So they don't need us to be perfect, but they need to see that we're working towards being consistent and progressing forward so that they trust us to help them do the same. Okay. So family time. We are hustling to live our lives, not to live the hustle. There may be a season that you are sacrificing more, like I said in the beginning. Yes. Like there may be times that you feel like all you're doing is maybe working, planning, doing your own journey, and working the business. And if you have big goals, you'll be okay with that. If you don't have big goals, then maybe that's not for you. That's okay. But when we're working really hard, it's because we're working towards a big goal and we have a mission to help more people, right? So making sure that we are showing up for the goals that we've set for our business, but then also making sure that we're stepping away, because the fact that this can be so easy to pick up or hear vibrate or hear ding, and this makes it worse, this little sucker right here. Because even if my phone's on silent always, if it's not by me, my watch goes off. So then I look. It's a bad habit. So you have to set times to unplug. I intentionally, when it is time to unplug and family time, I take my watch off and I set my phone on silent away from me, because I don't want that distraction. It's not that I don't respect my family's time and I don't love being with them, but I also love this business. And it is hard for me to unplug from it. So if I see a message, I'm like, oh, it was just really quick, like 2 seconds, really quick. So I have to totally unplug myself. Okay. So make sure you're setting times to unplug and be present with your family. And number 2 is respecting the family time. You guys, if you're really pushing for big goals and you're asking your husband or your spouse or your significant other or whatever to respect the fact that you jump on team calls at night, or that you're dedicating an hour or 2 after you work all day of the time that you would maybe normally have together, whether it's just sitting on the couch watching TV or not, if you're taking time and you're asking them to respect you building this business, you have to respect when it is family time. You have to put it down, because it is going to cause turmoil and frustration. Okay. So making sure that you're making that time for your family as well. And something else I wanted to say, I thought I had it on this next slide. So something else I want to say about respecting family time. When we ask our families to respect that we are working on growing something bigger for them, for ourselves, for our family, we have to show up and do that work. We can't ask them to respect that we're taking an hour away from the family or the husband and wife time or whatever, and then just go to Facebook and scroll and never send an invite and not actually do the actions that are going to grow your business. Because that too is going to cause problems and frustration. And then you're going to feel like, I just can't do this. So know that we have to set those boundaries, and it's okay to set those boundaries. If that person can't wait for you to message them back until tomorrow morning or when your business hours are, then it wasn't the right fit. It's okay. There are more people out there who will be your jam, and more people who will respect the fact that you have boundaries, that you aren't at their beck and call, right? Okay, so real work versus work, that's kind of going into that. You want to make sure that you are actually working and doing the activities that are going to help you grow your business. We want to avoid mindless scrolling. Social media is meant to be social, but when we're working, we need to set timers to avoid scrolling and engagement taking up too much of our time. Okay. Yes, we want to engage with people because we want to be social. We want to love on them. People aren't just going to come to us, you guys. You don't just put a post up and say, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Everybody come to me. That was it. I opened my doors. Mindy, does that work? Does that work? Because that isn't working for me. Okay. So we have to go out and be social, love on people. People aren't just going to come to us because you put up an awesome post. You have to put up the awesome post and go love on other people. Okay. Go be present in other people's lives and cheer them on and love on them and engage on their things, but set a timer. Okay. 5 to 10 minutes, boom, move on to the next thing. All right. Because if we stay stuck in that too long, we aren't going to get our to-dos done. Checking the boxes. Are you showing up with a purpose, or are you just checking off the boxes? Because that, my friends, is very easy to do. Oh yeah, I sent out 5 invites. Oh yeah, I did stories, blah, 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 blah. But there was zero effort or heart or passion or purpose or intention behind it. Okay. We have to have that purpose and that mission in our heart so that They feel that energy when you send them that invite. Your followers feel that energy when they read that post. Okay. So you want to make sure you're not just going through the motions, that you're actually showing up with intention. Pick a routine and stick with it. We all have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. We all start as a brand new baby coach without a single freaking customer or a coach or a Success Club point, anything. We all started there. But if you just keep looking at what everybody else is doing or what worked for them, or you have to start. You have to find your voice. You have to find your rhythm. You have to find your routine, because it's so different for all of us. And it changes for all of us constantly. We're all in different seasons of life. There used to be, like, over the summer, we would hustle in the morning and do our virtual gym, and then I would have time to read. I don't have time to read right now. Like, I don't know the last time I picked up a book. I think I did for like 5 minutes a week ago, and my eyes were so tired it didn't last long. So everything's audio for me right now. Like, there's just different seasons in your life, and you have to stick with something long enough to see if it's going to work for you. Like, oh, this is too hard. Don't just give in, because it's going to be uncomfortable because it's new. But we also need to find what works best for us. We don't want it to stress and overwhelm us. We want it to be efficient, but we also want to make sure that we're not just throwing up our hands at the same time. Okay. So just like with our wellness journey, we have to show up to get the result, right? If we just kind of sort of do the coaching activities, we're kind of sort of going to grow confidence, and we're kind of sort of going to see results. Don't get overwhelmed. We all get it, and we all started exactly where you are. Lean into our amazing team, you guys. Like, there's so much love in this team. That reel, like, it speaks its truth, because the more you lean in, the more fun it is. Like, how fun was that? I thought it was amazing. Lean in, let us love on you, and participate in the team, because we are a team. This isn't just me and you and Mindy and Kate and Kylie. This is a unity. Like, we are working together as a team. So lean in and let us help you with the struggles that you have or the questions that you have. Okay. So that's what I have for tonight. But just to really go over it really quick again, make sure that you're creating a plan and you're setting those business hours. Make sure you're also making time for yourself to unplug and be with your family, or do other hobbies that you enjoy doing outside of Beachbody. It gives you other things to talk about too, so that you're not just Beachbody on your social media. Okay. And then making sure that when you are asking your family for that time, that you are actually putting in the work to show them that I understand that I'm taking an hour from us a couple of nights a week, but I so appreciate the fact that you're letting me do this, because this is who I got to help. This is the message I got from my client. This is what our team accomplished this month. This is a paycheck I got to provide, or I got to buy groceries this month with my paycheck. Okay. It allows them to see the other side of it. I'm going to stop sharing, and then two girls nobody put anything in their chat for their business hours. I'm just curious though, like, what are your business hours typically looking like? Do you have are you doing like power hours, or are power packets working more conveniently for you? I personally am doing, we'll say, power hour pockets, because I'm working at least an hour at a time, but I do them in pockets spread out over the day, which just happens to work best for me right now. I see you girls typing. At this moment, pockets of time throughout the day. And that's a way to get it done. And it's just little sections at a time. It makes it doable. Mindy's working from 4:15 to 5:45, 6:15. Mindy and I are the same. We'll look at each other and be like, go work out, put the phone down and go work out. Okay. So Mindy and I are very similar as far as working a good chunk in the morning and then a little bit in the afternoon, mostly power hour early, and then 1 to 2 packets. Awesome, Katie. Yeah. So just finding that rhythm that works for you. And you guys, like, when I first started, I worked an hour or so when Keiston went to bed. It wasn't ideal because I was tired, but look at where we've grown because of that little bit of time and sacrifice I put an hour a day in, right? So it's doable. You just got to find the rhythm that works for you. Yeah. Kylie said pockets of time throughout the day. When I wake up, it's a power hour of 5 to 6 a.m. Snooze Queen needs to get it together. We're going to blow you up tomorrow. Get up. Do it. Yeah. All right, girls. Do any of you have any questions or anything you would like to add that you have found that works for you that might be helpful to somebody else? Thoughts? No? No? Amanda, do you have a question? No, she's giving a tablet to a child. I have a question. Call on me, please. No? All right, cool. I will stop recording.